Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. Today we are in the city of Crater Lake and we are going to be working on our oil industry. And so the goal for today is, if we jump over here to our oil industry, I really want to revamp this. This just doesn't look great. And then on the last episode, we built out that large nuclear facility. And so we had deleted a lot of the electrical facilities that were in this area. And so I think this is a really good time for us to kind of revamp this. And my goal is to create an area that looks very realistic and industrious and just looks really cool. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing we need to do, we need to look at what we have in this area and kind of identify what we can get rid of and what we can move. Like right now, I'm looking at these two waste processing complexes and I'm thinking that we can shift those over. I'm also looking at these empty grounds. So a couple considerations. We are inner city for this. And so if this were in real life, there'd probably be some sort of buffer, or we'd even follow Los Angeles's lead by just covering all the buildings and making it look like there's not an oil industry in the area. But I think what we're going to do, we're going to make it look industrious. We're going to leave a little bit of room around the outside to kind of create a buffer. One of the things we do want to consider, this is a tech university, and so they are kind of working hand in hand with the oil industry. Maybe they're training engineers, or they are helping to implement new strategies in the oil industry, or maybe they're doing research or something like that. We're going to make a couple big changes. So first off, let's pause. We are going to remove all this zoning off of this road. This would be a huge industry. This would definitely not be environmentally friendly. And so having these commercial buildings here would not be great. I mean, even living right here would probably not be great. If you were a part of this university and maybe you were, studying the oil industry, then it would be nice having this right next to it. And so we're going to get rid of that. And then we are going to get rid of this bank. Let's go ahead and let all that disappear real quick. I don't even know if it's going to, because we do play with plopping. So we're going to go ahead and remove it all. And it does look like we have a couple services there. We're going to go ahead and leave those there. So let's look at what buildings we have in here that we can kind of shift around and move into better locations. So I'm looking at this right here. We do have some standard services that we kind of do need to keep. So if we go ahead and remove this right here, and then let's go ahead and bulldoze that. What I'm thinking, maybe we can shift this over. If we go like right there, what that's going to do is create a little bit of room for us. So we're going to move this over here, and we're going to move this over here as well. We could just delete it, but we're going to end up utilizing those buildings. So I think moving them is probably the better course of action for this moment. And so we're going to go ahead and remove these fences for right now. Let's go ahead and remove these as well. And then I do want to get rid of this. Let's connect up our pathway first to our BRT network. We definitely don't want to disconnect that. Let's see if we can move a couple of these over here. I'm thinking maybe even just one. If we move one of them right there. Yeah, you know what? I think that works. We are kind of clipping the edge of this building, but I don't think that that's going to be the end of the world for this. So let's go ahead and let's make that the same level there so that we at least have those on the same height. And so now let's move this into a better spot. Let's kind of zoom out. Maybe we can move that right here. So let's move our oil headquarters up there. Let's go ahead and Control H on this one right here so that we can get that the same level. That looks just really bad. And then let's try that again. So Control H, get that right there. And then let's go ahead and move this over here. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So let's actually move it in game. So we'll go like this and then move it right there. And let's move our little oil derrick right here out of the way for right now. And then we can get rid of those fences that were going around. And so we do have a couple services over here. We have the biofuel bus depot and we have the regular bus depot. I don't think we're using any of the biofuel buses anymore, but we're going to go ahead and keep that for now. We have opened up a ton of space on this side. And so the goal, we really want to maintain our profitability for this area. We make a ton of money with the oil industry. We make about $13,000 a week, not including any sort of factories, which I do think we are going to have an opportunity to place down some more factories, because I don't think we've really focused on factories too much in the city. We haven't. So we have the bakery, we have the industrial steel plant, which we have over in our ore area. But then we have the household plastics factory. I'm thinking that this is not in this area. So we have our bakery, we have our household plastics factory right there, perfect. And then we have a clothing factory. And we have a couple warehouses to kind of match that. So I think that this whole area right there is actually really good. We're probably going to keep that. But let's go ahead and remove these trees. And then we need to start paying attention to some of these buildings. We need to move that post office facility. Move our road maintenance. We don't want that there. Let's go ahead and shift this down here. And then let's move our post sorting facility. We don't want that down there. So let's go ahead and shift this down here. Let's go ahead and do a small road. And then what we're going to do is connect up our post-sorting facility right here. And then that way what we can do is just move this down. And that actually looks pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of on a hill, but maybe we'll come back through and do a retaining wall right there. So we have storage caverns. We have some industrial tanks. I don't think we have any other storage facilities. So we have a waste transfer facility. I think we have one of those right here. We do. So I think what I'm going to do, we're actually just going to get rid of that one. We're going to demolish that. And then let's go ahead and demolish these two as well. And let's check out our trash and make sure that we're not ruining anything. We did do that large trash build on the last episode where we built out this huge waste transfer facility. And so I think that I'm hopeful that that is going to be okay with us removing that. Yeah, so our garbage processing capabilities are still pretty high. And so now what we can do, let's go ahead and start playing around with our road layout. So it looks like we have a couple more recycle centers. Let's move those over here since we don't have anything going on right there. Definitely not going for effectiveness here. We're probably going to have a little bit of traffic issues, but I really want to create some fun stuff in here. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to copy that. And then what I'm going to do is actually place it down, and then I want to grab that and convert that into a PO. And the reason I want to do that is because I want this facility right here. So if we go ahead and turn this around now, what we can do is create larger complexes that look like they're all one building. And this is really how we're going to get it to look kind of cool in here. So we're going to move this back. We're going to connect it up right there. And then let's go ahead and move that down to the ground. We'll go like that. And then let's go ahead and level this section out as well. That's going to definitely be a challenge for this area, is working on all these hills. So we'll go ahead and shift all this back. And then that way what we can do is actually just grab everything in here and then lift it up as well. And what it's going to do is just make it all the same level. I think what we'll do is probably play around with the heights to make them all the same. So now what we can do is also grab this, Control H right there. Let's grab this one, Control H, and voila, we are already having a much better effect on this area. So now we're going to go ahead and place that down right there. And then we are going to convert to PO as well. And I want to create a couple of these. We're going to copy that. We're going to put it right next to that. And then let's grab all these and lift them up. And it's going to create a little bit of a ledge back here. But what we can do is jump into a retaining wall. And basically, I'm just going to put a retaining wall going all the way around. And then once I have that, I will utilize a concrete network. So I'm going to come in here, and it's actually a surface network. I'm just going to fill this in and make it into a ledge real quick. Okay, so we have our retaining wall. And so now what we can do is go ahead and fill this in with some containers and stuff, and just make it look a little more alive. I really wanted to show you guys this because this is the goal for the whole build, is to be immensely detailed like this and just make it all look a little bit better. We're going to save most of this detailing for the detailing time lapse though. And what I want to do is primarily focus on these buildings. And so now moving out of this area, I think that this is a pretty good start. What we can do is maybe fill in just a little bit of parking in this area. So what I'm going to do is go to our small parking lot that we got with the last update. We'll probably go like this. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So now we have just a little bit of parking in here for maybe some workers or something to kind of, be closer to their place of work. And then let's go ahead and copy this as well. And let's put this over here. I want this to go right here, but I want to get this down a little bit. You can kind of see we're a little high, which isn't good. And then let's grab an oil derrick. We'll copy this, put this like right here. And I think that this is actually a generic industry right there. I don't think that that's, yeah. So if we go ahead and convert that to a PO, let's see what happens. Yeah, you know what? I think that that looks pretty cool. So we'll grab this and put this right next to it. And this is going to be like one of our little derricks in there. And so now we have a couple of these going. We have yellow industry back here. We have this going, so we definitely could connect this up a little bit better. This doesn't look the greatest. I think what we could even do is maybe move this over. Let's go ahead and remove all this and then put in another little parking lot in here. I think that that could be good. So if we go in to find it, open up a new tab, go to parking. What I want to do is find like a 3x3 could be good. And I like that it's gated too. I think that that's a nice little touch. So let's move this building up as well. We definitely don't want to be on that hill. That looks pretty bad. So then we will raise this up too. And then that way what we can do is actually level this out to level out the parking lot. And so now we have a little bit of parking. We have our first little area. And honestly, I think that this already looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is just fill in these small little spaces with some more stuff. I really want it to get it to look as good as possible. Like I want to get some of these tanks in there, some of these smaller little industries. We'll probably end up getting rid of some of these So like, I don't think we really need any of these as of yet. And so we'll go ahead and get rid of all this, and we're going to come back through and kind of fill it in with our own stuff. And that's really why I think these ones look good right there though. And it does look like we missed a couple services. I think those are taxi depots. And then let's look at some of our factories now. So we know we're going to pretty much keep all of our oil facilities, but I do want to try to add in at least a couple more factories if we can. So we have crops and glass, which we do have, plastics, glass, and metals, again, which we do have. So maybe, oh, this one's a big one too. So maybe we can, let's see how this looks right there. So that looks okay. You can kind of see we're clipping off that backside though. So if we lift that up, yeah, you know what? I think that looks fantastic. It's very industrious. I like the look of it. Let's go ahead and shift these down, put these like right there. And then what I want to do is separate a couple of them. So we'll go like this, and let's do a small 1-unit road. And we're going to have this come in here and then snake around back. Let's go ahead and turn on snapping. I'm going to go like this and then connect it up down here. And what that's going to do is just provide a little more access for this area. Grab this with the Move It mod if I can get it. Put this right over here. And then I want to copy this procedural object that I had back here. And then we had a lot of cool industrial buildings in there as well. So if we go in here, open up a new tab, go into growable and search up industrial, we can see what we're kind of working with. So we could do a couple small little shops. I think that this could be good. And then let's get a couple of these little container areas. I think that that's good as well. So we'll go ahead and plop this down. We'll get that right there. Let's move this over. So we're going to go ahead and shift that. We're going to turn that over. So now we have both those going in there. We have this right here. Let's go ahead and shift that over. And then let's look at some of our other oil buildings. So we know we want to get this one. And I know that this is a massive building. So maybe we should try to focus on this one first and then come back. And then I'm thinking we will put our main building just right here. It looks like it's going to clip. You know, let's place it down and then see what we're working with. So we're definitely clipping a little bit. That's not good. So we need to figure out a good location, maybe even over here. So if we place this over here for right now, and then let's grab this and see if it fits over here. So it actually does. That actually, that looks pretty good. So we're going to remove the fences now if we can. And then what we can do is go ahead and turn that off, get out of Move It mod, and then actually move this over here. So if we grab this, that way, I mean, this actually does look good. And I like that the BRT kind of goes over it too. I think that that's a cool look. So we'll go like that. So we have our main building now kind of tucked in the back. And this is already looking a lot better than what it was, much better. We still do have a lot of open space, but I think that once we get this going, it's going to look really cool. So if we grab this, let's go ahead and move this over. I'm going to grab this, go across the street for right now. And then let's remove this road. And we have a couple more taxi depots. Geez, I didn't realize we had so many of these. I know we did need a lot of taxis, and so I think that's why we have as many as we do. So maybe this is just like our taxi depot row. It looks okay. They're kind of on a hill, so it doesn't look the best, and then let's go ahead and remove this. We don't need that. And we do want to remove this commercial up here as well. We definitely don't want any commercial. So we'll go like that, go all the way across. We'll keep the crematorium though for right now. And then let's go back to our facility. Let's put in a small entryway road just to create a separation and maybe even like a grand entrance for this, because this would be a huge facility. Now going back to that, we can place this like right here. Let's see how that looks, because I know it's on a huge hill. How are we going to do this? So I think what we'll end up doing to this area is kind of playing around with different ways that we could get this to look good. What we're going to do is just shift this over, and then we'll be able to do a retaining wall off that road, but then it kind of allows us to have this be a little bit better. So if we shift this forward now and go like that, yeah, you know what, that looks a little bit better. And then that way we can go ahead and raise this back. So if we drop this down, yeah, if we go like that, it's just going to make it look more natural rather than having this all, like they wouldn't spend the money to level all this out. It would be just such an expensive cost. It would be insane. So then we will go ahead and go like that and hit enter. And then that way we can get back to what we were doing before. So we'll grab this, bring this all the way down. And I kind of got rid of a little bit of the buildings in here just because I was playing around with different ways for us to build this. And initially I was thinking a huge retaining wall, but I just don't think it would look good with such a big area. But I think back here we probably will do a retaining wall because we definitely want to get some storage facilities. So we'll go ahead and bring this back and go like right there. And let's grab all of our nodes now and then level this out. So we'll bring that down. And then this way we can actually use the level terrain tool and shift this back. And then let's put in a couple storage facilities. We don't need to get crazy with this, but we just want to get a couple in here. I really like these buildings. So if we shift these over, and so now we can grab these, let's look. So we need petroleum, plastics, and metals. And then I think for this other facility, we need glass as well. We do. So I'm going to go ahead and do glass over here too. And then for metals, we're going to do fill. And so what this should do is start putting out calls to our ore industry all the way across the city. And we do have them connected up by train. So what I'm hopeful for is that they're just going to ship them over here and then fill it up. That's normally how it'll work. And then let's go ahead and copy these now, but I'm going to do a couple procedural object buildings just because I want to fill this in. So if we go like that and then select both of these, and then convert to PO. Yeah, there we go. We do have to come back and kind of level the ground out. That's one of the things with procedural objects. You don't get the same kind of benefit that you do with a real building. Because we could just place them down and then because I hide the notifications, you're just not going to see it. I prefer to have it look a little bit better than that. Yeah, you know what? I think that actually looks pretty good. And so we do have this whole area, this whole area. I think that these areas down here already look pretty good. Especially, I really like the first area we did. We could put in another road in here. I think that that could be good. So maybe we'll shift this over and then put in a small road to provide some much needed access in here. And this is really where, you know, with the traffic, it gets kind of iffy. You're just not really sure what's going to be the best fit, but a lot of times, you know, it's just something you got to do. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I completely forgot that I had a 1-unit industrial road. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this because I want to use the industrial road. It comes with those little bollards on the side, which I think look really cool. So I think that that is pretty good. We've provided some access over here. Our hilliness is just crazy. I really wish that we could make this look better. I think what we're going to do, let's go ahead and level this out, go like that. But I think down here, like that looks a lot better already. And then we're going to come through and use Surface Painter and change the color of a lot of this. I don't like that kind of ugly brown. I'd rather get this darker brown in there. I think it just looks a lot better. Okay, so now what I want to do is start working on these areas. So I think what we'll end up doing first, let's go ahead and grab that 1-unit industrial road and kind of divide this up a little bit just to make it look a little bit better. So if we grab this and then have it come down here, and it actually looks like I'm a little bit too far. So I'm going to try that from the other direction. So if I go like this and then come down, connect it up. And then that way what we can do, let's go ahead and move this out of the way for right now. And then we're going to move this out of the way for right now. And then we can get rid of all this stuff in here, including the power lines. We have storage facilities down here. Let's maybe just do processing facility because we have a big processing facility up there. What I'm thinking though is if we grab these, let's go ahead and do, this big one could be good. So let's do one of these big ones and then we're going to grab a couple of the smaller ones. So I want to do that one right there. And I think that that's probably good. So let's look up some tanks. Ooh, so this one would be good to have. This one's huge though. Maybe we'll do this one. So if we place that down, how does that look? So that looks interesting. It actually has a little bit of an entrance too. This is the same one that we used for the nuclear power plant. I like that it has the little gates around it. Let's go ahead and check out and see. So it actually is oil storage, but I like that it's all gated in like that. And I like that it has the bollards. I think it provides a nice clean look. And then what I'm going to do is probably just connect these up with pipes. And so let's go ahead and place this right here. Let's move. So these look pretty good. This looks pretty good. I think this already looks a lot better. Let's maybe put in just a small little touch of parking in the back. Looks like it's going to be too big. So let's actually search up a 2x5 or something like that. So if we go like this, so we have 5x1. So if we go like that, let's place it down. Let's see if we can copy that. Or maybe let's just move it back. If we go like that and then let's copy it, place that right there. And then I'm going to line these up so that it looks like it's just one big. Yeah, if we go like that, perfect. And then that way what we can do is actually just keep it like that. I was thinking about doing a fence around, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll probably put in just a couple small pallets and boxes in here to kind of fill in the space. And then up here, I want to do another one of these facilities. I really like these ones. So we'll grab the move it, we'll grab that, we'll copy it, and then we'll come up here. Let's go ahead and place this like right there. And we're gonna have to play around with the height because it's on a hill. It's gonna be kind of tricky. So we'll grab that, and then let's go ahead and lower that down now. And you know, that looks okay. It kind of goes, I wonder if we can lower that down enough to get it below ground. Yeah, if we go like that, I actually think that looks a lot better. So then let's grab all of these now, and we're gonna shift these over just a bit. And so now it's like the pipes go underground and kind of connect up over here, which I think looks really cool. I actually really like that look. And we'll probably do another retaining wall back here. And then let's see if we can get that big tank in here, because I really want to get that one, the huge one. Let's place it down and see what it looks like, because this thing is just massive. Yeah, if we go like that, and then let's go ahead and raise it up. You know, that looks pretty good. And then that's just another storage facility, which I think is great. And we do have these two right here. We've kind of left a little bit of room in the back to do some more detailing. I think maybe let's go ahead and do something on this side as well. So let's go into our oil facilities now and see what else we could get in here. Maybe if we do a couple of these smaller guys, let's grab that, have it come down. And then let's do a couple of these bigger ones kind of intermingled. Grab that, and then let's come down. So those already look pretty good. Let's go ahead and see what these look like as procedural objects. So if I copy that, place it down, and then go into convert to PO. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty cool, because then we can let's actually see if we can get this to go a different direction. So if we go like this, that looks okay. Let's look for just a little shack is what I'm thinking. So, or let's probably be an industrial. So if we go back to growable, we're looking for just like a small building to fit in here. You know what? I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll grab that, because then it kind of melds with that. And I actually like how the tanks kind of fit into this backside too. Let's see about converting this to a PO. Yeah, we'll go like that. And then that way we don't have to worry about it putting out calls. But I like how it kind of melds in there. You see how it definitely blends with that. And that's really where a lot of the magic comes with these is if you start to blend the buildings, they look really good. So if we grab that, place that right there. Let's go ahead and convert this to a PO, because we really don't want them to start getting deliveries. And again, we're going to come back through and do some more detailing. I'm going to put in containers. I want to do some decals. I really want to make this look good. I think we're going to remove these fences though, because looking at these, it just doesn't look like this matches. So if we grab these now, go like this, and then let's see about placing this. So if we copy this, put it over here, and then let's convert that to a PO. That looks really cool. So now we have like some tanks, storage facilities next to these. Yeah, we'll go like that. All right, and so I think that looks awesome. I actually really like the look of those a lot. I think a lot of these oil industry buildings, like if you convert them to POs, they just look fantastic. And so we could even do some of these too. These are like the workers' barracks. So these would just be for like workers that maybe move to the area for a short period or you know, live far off. Like maybe there's a big oil boom, and so they'll hire people from all over the country, or potentially all over the world, to come and kind of work and live here and everything. And so I actually really like that look. I like this look too. I think we're going to put this over here. I do think our tank looks a little iffy right there, and I think we're going to shift this over. So let's go ahead and put the tank right on the corner. Yeah, I think this is already looking pretty awesome though. So now we got a little bit of community, you know, housing, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and lift that up just to make it level with that. It's going to get the parking in a second. There we go. And then it looks like back here we have a little bit of room. So let's look for some tanks again, I'm thinking. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to get a couple of these in here. And let's actually remove them and have them be real buildings, because I think that having a little bit of industrial back here would be kind of smart. So we'll grab that. Let's go ahead and move this over, and then let's copy that. And what we're going to do is do like a row of these. I think that makes it look awesome. I love those little domes. I think they look so cool. And that operates as a regular generic industry as well. So we do get a little bit of industry in there, which is good. Some jobs and stuff like that. Our industry demand's not huge, but it still is something that we want to try to keep an eye on. And so going back over here, we look good over here. It looks like we're missing some stuff in here that could be good. Let's maybe copy this building, copy that. And then let's see if this looks good as a procedure object. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, you know what? I think that this looks pretty cool. Let's actually, so we're going to put these down here, We're gonna have them like right next to each other. And then I want to do a little bit bigger of a parking lot in here. I think that that would just be smart. So I'm gonna lay down probably one of the big parking lots in here real quick. Now we got a little bit of parking. I think we'll probably end up removing some of this surface painter in here just because having the concrete does also look industrious in a lot of areas, and especially around parking lots, we really wouldn't want to get rid of that. So let's come in here. I'm going to copy this and do another one of the procedural objects so that we can kind of flip it sideways. So I have it go like right there, and then I'm going to find another small industrial building. Yeah, I think that that looks interesting. And then I'll come through here and do probably either some concrete with some decals, because then I can come back through and do decals like we did on the nuclear power plant, like do these yellow decals and stuff, kind of cone it off, make it look a little more official. But already, I mean, I'm feeling much better about this area. I don't really like these hills, but I think I'm going to do some retaining walls to clean it up. And I think now we need to do this area. So we have a ton of storage. Let's go ahead and look at our processing capabilities and see what we're working with. So we have a ton of oil. We're still exporting 63 barrels. So we definitely need to get some more processing in here. So let's look at, so we have plastics and we have petroleum. Let's maybe look at some petroleums. Let's see if we can get some of these in here. So if we go like right there and right there, how do those look? So those actually look pretty good. They tie in really well. We'll go like that. And then let's go ahead and copy one of those, place it right there, and then turn that into a procedural object. And then what we're going to do is we're going to shift this back like right there. Yeah, just make it into a bigger compound. Let's go ahead and copy that as well. And we're going to have this come this way. I like the look. And then I think we may even just copy that on this side. So if we copy that, come over here, go like that. So I got a couple spaces in there, nothing too crazy, but enough to at least provide a little bit of parking for this area, which I think is definitely much needed. And then let's go ahead and shift this to the corner. And let's see about putting something in here. Maybe we'll put a couple more of these. I think that these are good. So I think that little compound looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get around it now. And we're going to focus on more processing. So we want to get, let's see if we can get another plastic one in here. Let's go ahead and place that right there and see if that's too big. Because I think if we shift this, we're pretty close to where I don't think it would be the end of the world. The problem is that fence. So maybe we'll move this over here. Let's see if we can get it in back here. So we're still kind of encroaching. Maybe this isn't the best building for here. I was kind of hoping we were going to fit that in there, but it doesn't look like it's going to fit. So maybe we'll come back here and use this one. So if we grab this and go like that, I think, so I know that fits. And then let's do a small little warehouse building. So I'll grab something in here. So we'll go like that. I think that that's a fitting little industrial complex, though it doesn't look like it's going to be the same type of building. I don't know if that would be oil or not. It actually looks like there's wood, but I think it looks interesting being right there. And so now let's go ahead and fill in this backspace. We definitely want to get some more of those if we can. So what we're going to do, we're going to build a small road. We're going to go like that. And then let's see if we can place a couple of these off this backside. So if we go like that, go like that. What we can do is grab these and shift them back. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks interesting. We're going to have to do a retaining wall in here. There's really not something we can do about that. Move that there and then just place a couple more of these little industrial buildings, I'm thinking. So we'll find something on the bigger side. Go like that. Yeah, place that right there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This is already looking pretty tasteful. I like the look of it. So now let's go in here, and I do want to copy one of these, put these in the corners, just kind of fill in the space. I actually think we want to use the procedural object versions of them. So we'll come in here. So we'll copy this, place it right there, and then place it right there. And then let's go ahead and convert those to procedural objects. So we'll bring this in, and then let's do the same thing here and bring that in. Go like that. Nice. And we are already looking much better than we did before. This is really coming together. This is actually looking really cool. I like the look of this a lot. I'm thinking we want to do something in here too, but we have these police stations and services in here. Maybe we can look at the coverage for those and see. So we have some services going up there. Maybe we can shift these down to the main road. The problem is because of the median, they're not going to provide great access. So we would definitely want to keep these kind of in this area. So maybe we'll shift these back. Go like this, and then let's go ahead and move the police station back there. Yeah, you know, there you go. Kind of doesn't fit as much, but let's move this. We don't want this oil derrick in there. All right, and so then for this last little section, I was kind of looking at this and I'm like, we could expand out more of the oil industry, or we could actually just turn this into a small little commercial center. And I was kind of looking at our commercial availability over here, and because this is more of suburbia, we really only have some commercial along this collector. So I think if we place down just a couple, like a small little shopping center, maybe if we even utilize the new shopping malls, I think that that could be good. So if we place this in here, we're going to go ahead and lift all this up, and then let's level this out too. So we're going to grab all these nodes, and I want to be right on this edge right here. So maybe we'll level this out to this one. So if we go like that, and then let's go ahead and slope this down, it's going to be a little bit better. Again, I put the road on the outside to kind of shield against all the pollution that would be in this area. This would definitely not be a great location, especially for shopping, but for people in this area, it's like you moved here, the oil field was here first, and so they'd probably be petitioning to remove all this. But what I want to do though is place just a couple plazas in here to make it into a little more hospitable of an area. So we'll place one right there, and let's go ahead and place one right there. All right, so I think this new area is looking really good. I love this. I'm still going to fill in a couple of these small spaces, but what I want to do now is jump into a detailing time lapse. And so basically I'm going to do decals. I'm going to expand upon our parking. I'm going to fill in a couple more of these spaces with similar designs to what we did before, but I really want to tie it all together. I want to do like maybe some small roads in here, probably fill in this space too, and just bring it all together. And so I'm going to go ahead and get that done. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will catch you on the other side. Okay, and here we are. And I decided I pretty much just went crazy. I went all out on this. So I did a ton of small details. I did little decals in all the buildings. I did fences going around. I did a bunch of weeds and just grass, like overgrowth. I really wanted to go for something that was going to look aged and kind of unkept, even though a lot of plants, they do clean, but the problem is over time, heavy machinery and just work tends to wear down things like concrete, and you get a little bit of overgrowth like these little grass patches in here. I ended up doing retaining walls in quite a few locations just to kind of clean it up. Did a retaining wall here, some more decals kind of going through this whole section. I decided to do rocks back here, and I did, dirt decals with a bunch of other decals in here to really kind of blend it in. I wanted to make it look as realistic as possible. And so now these rocks kind of form a barrier between our residential area right there and our new oil industry. And so again, bunch of decals going through here. Really wanted to get that worn look. And then I ended up doing the side of this rail line as well with dirt and grass just to, again, clean it up, make it look good. I really like this area a lot. I think it looks fantastic. I definitely think I succeeded in making it look worn with some of the overgrowth and everything. And then just some grass kind of going through the middle, making it, kind of sprout up. I did add in some warehouses kind of going around. I did also decorate our little service area over here. I put in some grass, and then I kind of wore down the parking lots a little bit. Same with over here. Again, just decals going all the way throughout. I did end up kind of decorating this area as well. And again, weeds, and then like maybe this was kept at one point and it's just kind of overgrown now. And then I've had this grass kind of growing along the pathway. And I actually did that in a lot of locations. So I did grass kind of growing along the fences. And, it's just something that you normally see, especially in like older areas or areas that are just kind of worn down or have been around for a long time. You see a lot of wear and tear. And so that's really what I was trying to capture. And I think that we definitely succeeded. I overall think that this is a fantastic build. I really like the look. And the only thing I didn't really do is I decided not to mess with this area because I think I might rework a little bit of it. But overall, I think this was a huge success. I did also do some of those stripe patterns in here too. I surrounded this, and then I actually added in a little warehouse for this area. And then I did a lot of the tanks, like in some of the smaller areas. I did the little stripes just to kind of designate like, hey, this is a drop-off area, don't park here. And so go ahead and let me know what you guys think of the new build. I think it's really cool. Let me know what you guys think of the new detailing style, of me like really taking this to the next level. And so if you guys enjoyed this episode, you will definitely enjoy the episode on your screen. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.